book I'm looking at now is called The Hat Book by Alan Couldridge. I've had this book for ages, and actually I really like it, but I'll tell you all about it and you may go, it's not very good. It's an ex-library book. I had a look on the bottom, Newcastle upon Tyne Libraries. So I didn't pay very much for it. I paid more than 40p. Anyway, it's by Batsford, is the publisher, I think. And you can probably tell from the drawings it was done a while ago. Let's have a look. It was first published in 1980. So there we are. But what I like about this is it's got a bit of everything in. It's got an introduction to hats, face shapes, what looks good, etc. Lots of fabulous 80s drawings, hats in fashion, basic hat types. So he runs through them there. Millinery terms, so crowns, brims, underbrims, head ribbons, headbands, brim blocks, skull blocks, hoods, foundation fabrics, espartere, woven straw sheets covered in muslin, tartelin, leno, blocking net, millinery wires, stiffeners, blah, blah, blah. And he talks about fabrics and tools and equipment. Now, this is a nice book because he does give you patterns for things and basic ideas for things. So he does talk about actually making hats. So let's move on. He talks about, again, face shapes, what looks good on an oval face, round face, long face, square face. I just like the pictures in here, so 80s. Did I look like this in the 80s? Oh, probably did. Fabric hats from flat patterns. So he talks about flat pattern hats here. Talks about fabrics, and he does give you patterns. I mean, you would have to draw them out on squared paper, but at least he gives you something to do, and he shows you how to make the brim bigger, etc., how to adjust the shape at the top of the hat. He gives you the pattern for a fatigue cap with ear flaps, which I've never made. A soft stitched beret, nice easy one with just 2 parts to it really. But again, he gives you all the instructions. Fashion looks, more fabric hat styles, scarves as hats. Gives you some good ideas for scarf types, how to tie them, scarf fabrics, scarf knots. He tells you how to make a scarf turban with a pleated back and one with a gathered back. And again, he gives you a pattern that you can draw out on inch squared paper. Scarf looks and trims. Winter felt hats. And again, he talks about how to make them, how to make 2-piece, 1-piece, etc. Trimming felt hats. There aren't many photographs. It's mostly drawings in this book, but they're nicely drawn. Ideas for knitting yarn, twists and tassel trims. Simple turbans. He talks about blocking a turban. I think I've done a video on this. I'm sure I have. But he talks about blocking a turban on Paris net. Turban variations. Summer straw hats. More decorative trims. As I say, a lot of illustrations with not many photographs, but yeah. Knitted hats. I can't knit. I have no idea how to knit or crochet. It's not my bag. But he does talk about knitted hats. And it gives you some patterns for a rolled up knitted hat and a 7-section beret. Talks about bridal headdresses, very 80s of course, his designs, but they're nice little pictures. How to make a flower circlet, how to do flower earphone headdress, traditional veils on circlets, quite useful. And then again, nice fashion plates from the 80s. Less traditional bridal ideas, hair decorations. Just talks about making some little flowers and putting feathers and pom-poms and things like that. Fashion looks. Flowers and bows, flowers and feathers, feathers and flowers rather. So some hair combs with just stuff glued to them. Bow combs, pom-poms on combs rather. Probably be quite pretty now. Men's hats, and again you've got a drawing to cut out your own pattern to make a flat cap and all the instructions. I can't tell you how accurate that is because I've never made it. And then an index. I mean, bear in mind 1980, half of these shops don't exist anymore, but there you are. So that's that. He's written and illustrated the Hat Book, Britain's top millinery. He's one of Britain's top millinery designers. His work has been featured extensively in many fashion collections. So yeah, don't know if he's still about. But anyway, there we have it. The Hat Book by Alan Couldridge. I mean, it's out of print and you would have to buy it second-hand or whatever. But it's quite a nice book if you can get that, you know, cheap enough. It's worth having because at least if you want to do some flat pattern hats, you've got patterns there and you've got some good ideas for trims.